Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in the Bay Area, it's time for Bay Area Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Bay Area Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, Leah Davis Coaching, inspiring women of color to claim their wealth legacy. Today on Bay Area Business Radio, we have Linda Adams with Exceptional Consulting Services. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Exceptional Consulting Services, who you serving, and how do you do it?
So Exceptional Consulting Services started about, more than 10 years ago, as a matter of fact. And it started because I had so many people coming at me for help to do certain things and kind of coach them in the financial industry. And I said, you know what? I need to legitimize this business. And that's how I came up with Exceptional Consulting. I actually called my sister and I said, okay, this is all the things that I do, and I need to start a business. And she came up with that name. And I'm like, wow, this is perfect. And so that's how Exceptional Consulting started, by consulting with clients, whether it was finances, credit repair, business development, anything under that umbrella. I was like a one-stop shop. And so that's how Exceptional Consulting was birthed.
But it kind of grew out of your financial advising business?
Yes. I've been in the financial industry over 15 years. I worked with several different banks and credit unions. And what I did was a lot of business coaching. And I helped people to lock in lending for their business. So people who wanted to expand or even start a business, I was that person. And so I would help them create a business plan and, do projections and just kind of get them started. And so from that came this. And so what I do now is I've actually taken it even a step further. So in Exceptional Consulting, under that umbrella, I am a business coach. I'm a financial/business coach. And what I do with that is exactly what I just said, helping people get started. Like I will help someone from walking them through getting a 501c3, thinking, trying to strategize what entity do they need their business to be, whether a sole prop, LLC, S Corp, things like that. And even down to the financial side. I do so much of that because, and I think that's important. I think, coaching people on the financial side is important because where I came from and the struggle that I had moving to California with a child as a single parent, the struggle was real. I always tell my clients the struggle was so real. And so I try to coach people and educate them on the financial side so they can eliminate that struggle. Now, it's tough. Life hits people from all different angles. But if I can help you create this pathway to make it easier, then that's what I try to do.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, let's try to help some folks out there listening and say they, in their back of their mind, they're thinking, you know what, I want to have my own business someday. But right now, I'm just kind of working this job. Is there some advice you would give them on how to kind of plan for that future business? Because a lot of people have that dream of one day kind of being their own boss.
And, I'll tell you, everybody have a dream. I mean, people have dreams every single day, but you have to have a goal. The difference between a dream and a goal is the goal has a date. There's a time frame, and you have to put a plan in place to reach that goal, to hit that deadline. So for someone who have been thinking or dreaming about starting a business, I would say they need to come see me because they need to create a plan. Because, sometimes people will think of so many different things that they want to do. And before they know it, 5 years have passed. And then 5 more years has passed. And so procrastination can really get the best of you. And then now you're 55, 60 years old, and now you're feeling like, I should have started that business 15 years ago. Where would I be today? Or get this, you may see on TV or hear on the radio, somebody else is doing that same exact business, and you say, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, right? Where people are just afraid to take that step. And what I'm hearing you say is just making a plan is kind of the first step. You can dream it, but put a date and then build a plan so you can hit those key dates in the plan.
Exactly. And I actually getting ready to put a book out. I always tell people you have to shift your mindset. And that's the main thing I talk about is 7 steps to creating this successful business. But you have to shift your mindset. And so I do a lot of motivational speaking. So I speak on many stages, whether it's for a corporation, a corporate company, a nonprofit, or what have you. People do call on me to speak. And one of the things I like to talk about is shifting your mindset. So not just put it on the back burner and wait. See, a lot of people's problems, Lee, is they'll think about this business, and the first thing come to mind is it's unattainable financially because they don't have enough money.
Right.
But guess what? Starting a business, depending on what it is, it doesn't take a lot of money. I have a daughter that's 32 years old who has joined the business with me. Now she's a business owner. She's self-employed now. And it took her every bit of less than $500. Less than $500. So I think people have this mindset that they got to save thousands or they got to go get a business loan to start a business. Well, every business doesn't require a lot of money. Now, yeah, if you want to go buy a commercial building and you want to, put some stuff in there or start a furniture store, things like that, yes, it's going to take some equity. It's going to take some sweat equity is what I call it. And so, but it just depends. It depends on the business you want to start.
But that's why it's important to kind of work with somebody who's been there and done that so they can help you avoid some of those kind of landmines and the danger zones that are there, because it's not an easy task to start a business. So it's good to get advice from folks who have been there.
Exactly. You definitely want to get advice. And I'll tell you, some of the hurdles that I have people come to me, unfortunately, they'll come to me after the fact, after they spent a lot of money. But the problem that some people have is they'll go online and they'll have all these companies, oh, you can pay me $5,000 to do a trademark for you, or you can pay me $3,000 for me to, do the paperwork for your business entity, or you can pay. And so you end up out of a lot of money. What I do is I have a coaching program that I'll walk you through it. By the time you're done with me, you're going to know how to complete the paperwork for your business license, for your business entity, if you want to do an LLC, a business plan, projections. You're going to know how to do all of that when you're done.
And that's the foundation of a successful business, to get all that right.
That is the foundation. And I'll tell you, is so much less. It's so inexpensive, because when you come see me, you're going to pay a flat fee for my coaching program, and you're going to be able to get your business started at least. Now you're going to be able to get your business started.
Now, you mentioned you've been doing this for a minute, and that you've kind of been working with folks in your practice. Can you share a story? Don't name names, but maybe a story where you helped somebody and you tell us what life was like before they met you, and then what life was like after they met you and you helped them.
Oh, wow. So let's see. Let me think of, I can think of a couple people, but let me start with one in particular, a young lady who actually lived next door to me. And it wasn't until she moved that we got into a conversation. She had got injured on the job, and so she had been off work, and she wanted to start her own business. This young lady had paid so much money out, and her husband had told her, Linda is in business. She probably could help you. She know a lot of this stuff. She called me and her had this conversation. And from that conversation, she was able to not only start her profitable business, but from that, her profitable business was doing so well that she then in turn wanted to give back. So she started a nonprofit business, and I helped her with the 501c. So she now has a 501c3 nonprofit business. Her profitable business is trademarked. So whatever she put out, whatever she do, her name is on it. Like you see Hanes on the back of your shirt, her name is there.
Wow.
So she is have a full-fledged, and she do so much, anything that may be in the county. She travels throughout the state and she present herself. She has booths. She's been asked to come to different high schools and churches, and her stuff is inside stores. And so it has flourished just from her opening her mouth and having a conversation with me one day. I had no idea this was even her vision. But her husband said, you should talk to Linda. Now, I lived next door to her for at least 6 years. Never once did she come in my office and ask, what do I do?
Wow.
Never once.
Well, that's an important point you bring up, because there's so many people out there that live next door to somebody, or somebody's in their family and they don't even know what they do. Like, they're right in front of you. There's help right in front of you. And if you don't kind of spread the word about what you're doing and tell people what you're up to, then they don't know how to help you.
My mom used to always say, a closed mouth don't get fed. And I tell people all the time, since I'm so well-rounded in so many different things, if you have a thought, just talk about it. Because I might be able to answer that question and help you. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest struggles with people when it comes to, the financial stability and really setting your finances up, is people not being prepared as it relates to insurance. Everybody is so stereotyped to think insurance is only for someone that dies. But a lot of my clients are self-employed business owners or entrepreneurs. And part of my service that I give them is I sit down and do a personal financial checkup with them and see, what are you doing for retirement? If your business was to get hit hard, how are you preparing for that? And people don't even know that there's life insurance products that could actually give you a retirement solution. And I do the majority of my time outside of the business coaching and the public speaking is around that. The whole life insurance piece and getting people set up to where they have an extra avenue. Like I always tell people, you want to have multiple streams of income, but you want to have multiple streams of retirement too. Because it's one thing to live good while you're working, but when you retire and you can't work, now you have to live poor or paycheck to paycheck or very minimum. And I don't want to do that. And I see so many people in our community. So, a lot of my speaking is around that, educating people on that financial piece of being stable, business and personally.
Well, if somebody out there wants to learn more about this insurance or financial consulting or your business consulting, or even thinking about hiring you to speak to their organization, is there a website for all your stuff? Because you got a lot going on.
Yes, I have a website. It's exceptionalconsultingservices.com.
Exceptional Consulting Services, all together, right?
All together.com.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing such important work, and we appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. It's people like you that give us a voice.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, without our voice getting out in the community, we limit ourselves from reaching as many people as we can. So you guys are really the real MVPs, and we appreciate all that you guys do.
Well, thank you for that. That is our mission, is to tell the stories of business that traditional media tends to ignore.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Linda Adams, Exceptional Consulting Services, exceptionalconsultingservices.com to learn more. This is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Bay Area Business Radio.